definitely want to get back to these Raiders.
Um,
Uh, Go ahead.
I was gonna say the Raiders being at the bottom of that division is disappointing. Like
Correct.
Oh
The
outside
yeah.
of
whole division.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
outside of the
Yeah.
Chiefs. I mean, the
Yep.
Chiefs have done what they're expected, but they were set up to be like the best division in football. At
Because
least,
Mhm.
The Chargers have a terrible loss to Jacksonville as well that
Yep.
people don't
yeah,
talk about. I didn't hear nothing about it, but it was like 35-14 or something crazy like
Oh
that
yeah.
to
yeah, they got
Jacksonville.
smacked.
It was bad.
Mhm.
I expect the Chargers to do damage. That's who I had picked to win that division, but
A lot of people did because y'all got a lot of hope in Justin Herbert. For
right.
whatever
Nah,
y'all's reason for having that hope, y'all got a lot of hope in
the
Justin
boy
Herbert.
can the boy can play. The boy
It's
can
not a
play.
matter of he
He
can
can play
play,
ball.
right?
He's
What
good.
has he done? But what has he done?
I mean, he's only been. This is only his third year in the league.
I'll
Okay.
say this: Lamar was an MVP by then. Mahomes
Okay.
was a champion
But
by then.
Lamar
Joe
Jackson
Burrow
is.
been to a
Hold
Super
on. Hold
Bowl
on.
by
Hold
then.
on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold
Using
on.
that
Hold on.
as a standard, that's not going. Yeah, Lamar Jackson is an
That is
incredible football
that is a
player.
high
And
bar.
Well, I'm just
Like,
saying. I just named a list of guys who their accomplishments are far superior than what he's done. I mean, he hadn't
in
even been to the
three
playoffs.
years,
Yeah.
in 3 years,
Okay. Joe Burrow, they went to the Super Bowl, right?
that was just last year though.
And what year
listen,
of his? In what year? What year?
That was his. That's his was second full season, but I think you're a little too stiff on Herbert. Herbert's good. If you look at his
He is good.
stats,
He is good.
the first 16 games of his career, first 32 games of his career, so forth and so on, he lines up with the greats. And I mean that's something that can't be ignored. That you have to acknowledge that kind of stuff. So
So, like for me, this is me personally. I don't care about that because at the end of the day, they all play to win that Super Bowl, right? That's why you come to play. I need you to get me to the playoffs at the very least. And
I,
you can't tell me he hadn't had the talent to get to the playoffs.
and they've been in position a couple of times.
I'm about to
And
say,
Yes.
if I may,
I mean those are all good points. But like we talked about the other day, it's it's easier said than done to just go into the playoffs and just winning Super Bowls. Like you have to kind of at some point sit back, look at the numbers, look at the production, and then add that into the equation as far as how you're going to rank these players. That's just my personal opinion.
I
But I
think
definitely get what you're saying though. But that's just how I kind of look at things.
I think it's more as far as Justin Herbert is involved. I think it's more of how he got into the league, like how he started. He wasn't deemed a starter in LA, like for the Chargers.
Right.
If Taylor doesn't get hurt or stabbed by the medical staff,
That was
if he
crazy.
didn't get shanked
That
up
was
in the back
intentional.
room before that game,
That
I
was
was watching
intentional.
that game live,
because
and
he
they like,
wasn't, bruh. He didn't practice as a starter. He wasn't practicing with the ones. Like he was a clear number two rookie. And it was like 30 minutes before game time. I was like, "Hey, look, you're
yeah, that
playing."
was crazy.
And
Boy,
he
yeah,
went out there and damn near beat the Chiefs. He lost by 3, and then from then on, he was
Boy, it's
rolling.
cold. The boy is cold.
So
Boy is
I
cold.
I just think they look at as kind of like what everybody was saying. I think they look at the talent and what's there, like to go in to jump into a situation where you weren't really expected to be starting in probably that year, maybe later on depending on how the record was. But to jump in there and do what he did his first year, continue success in the second year, I feel like this year should have been his year. They are truly underperforming. But again, when you're in there with the Chiefs and the Broncos, like that division is tough. They're not
you can't
playing
put
tough.
anybody else in that division. You can
I'm
say
just saying. I'm just saying, but the division is tough. I mean, they're all got tough defenses. They're just not playing well right now. But just the
That division,
AFC in
that's
general,
supposed to be hands down the best division in football right
yeah.
now.
easily supposed to
But
be.
when we talk about accomplishments and then you're talking about playoffs, you got to think about it. You got the Chiefs ahead of them all the time. You got Buffalo. You got all these elite AFC teams. You got your Patriots, and you got all these teams in the AFC. They're like, dude, if they don't dominate their division or at least sweep outside the division, you're not. It's hard to make it in the AFC. The AFC has always been that way. Now the NFC has been a toss up outside of Green Bay and probably Tampa Bay. and whoever else you want to mix in there. Towards about San Fran, they've been consistent. Outside of those three, the other three, the other three teams has really been a toss up in the NFC. But in the AFC, it's always been tough, man. With your Steelers and your Ravens and like I said, the Bills, the Chiefs, like they're always bumping heads. So like if you don't win that division, chances are, bro, you out. So I think Justin Herbert is just tough to break through, and all those other young studs in the AFC, your Josh Allen's and your Mahomes and all these young guys in the AFC too. Just your Russells and your Deshaun Watsons, like all these dudes, like it's just tough. It's really tough.
On its last light, same clothes I'm from last night, still lit like it's last night, young living in the fast life, young. Smoke cloud from the ash pipe, catch air from the half pipe. I need to send a phone from the shows with the mansion, chandelier dancing, counting a Branson, yeah. Been had hella Franks, man, it's ballpark figures. Might be in the field, but I came from the trenches. You can tell it's my time, look at better squint. I do like the charm on my wrist, let me stitch. Want me pay the way, I'm the wave, I'm authentic. Sitting courtside, got a sprain, nigga, I bring the gang for the gang. Nothing but a thing when I sang, young Usain, I sprint it. Getting fresh prints, counting a blessing on blessing on blessing. They call me the reverend, y'all nigga play too much.